Today we are taking a look at Modernia from Goddess of Victory, NIKKE. This is the first affection version figure in the Noodle Stopper Figure line by FuRyu. Goddess of Victory, NIKKE is a science fiction role-playing shooter centered on female combat units and their battles in a devastated world. Within that story, Modernia is one of the most recognizable characters, with a strong emotional presence and an important connection to the central narrative. Today's highlights for this figure are the shirt slipping down from the shoulders, the semi-transparent underwear visible beneath the shirt, and the forward-leaning pose with Modernia's face lifted toward the front. The first highlight is the shirt slipping down from the shoulders. The wide neckline rests below the shoulders, exposing a broad area around the upper body, while the long sleeves remain around the arms. The folded collar spreads outward from the chest and continues toward the upper arms, making the loose arrangement of the shirt easy to follow from different angles. A small button keeps the front section connected beneath the chest, while the upper edges open around the shoulders. The second highlight is the semi-transparent underwear. The central section allows the underlying skin tone to show through softly, while the solid white edging clearly defines the waist and both leg openings. The semi-transparent rear hem of the shirt overlaps the underwear, creating two separate layers across the hips. A small mark is also visible at the center of the underwear. The third highlight is the pose. Modernia leans forward from a kneeling position while keeping her face lifted toward the front. This creates a smooth line from the head through the lowered shoulders and across the back. The deeply bent legs keep the overall shape compact, while the loose shirt follows the forward angle of the body and makes the pose easy to read from both the front and side. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The face narrows gently from the rounded cheeks toward the small chin, with the expression directed forward between the surrounding sections of hair. The orange eyes are enclosed by dark outer lines, while the deeper color near the center changes into a brighter orange toward the lower sections. Thick lines define the upper eyelids, and several individual eyelashes extend outward from their edges. Shorter lines beneath the eyes add another boundary around the lower eyelids. Fine red lines are arranged across the cheeks, spreading downward from beneath the eyes. The mouth is slightly open, with the pale red interior separated from the upper outline to create a soft smile. The bangs are divided into several sections around a thick central lock. Their pointed ends overlap the area above the eyebrows and eyes at different lengths. Longer side sections descend along the outer edge of the face, with some ending near the cheek and others continuing toward the upper body. A thick section curves forward from the top of the head, while shallow dividing lines lead from the crown into the bangs. The hair at the back reaches the shoulder area and separates into multiple narrow ends around the neck. White bands pass across the forehead and around the back of the head at different heights. Some hair sections overlap the front of these bands, while others emerge from beneath them. The bands also cross and change direction around the outer edges of the head. Two black triangular ornaments are attached near the top, each with small gold circular details along the lower edge. A yellow ribbon is attached near the outer side of the head. Its thicker hanging sections descend from the central attachment point, while a narrower end extends farther downward toward the shoulder. The neckline of the white shirt opens widely around the upper body, and the folded collar sits below the shoulder line. The shirt has slipped away from one shoulder and upper arm, exposing a broad area of skin between the neckline and the sleeve. On the opposite side, the folded collar remains closer to the shoulder before connecting to the long sleeve. The front section of the shirt crosses beneath the chest and forms a shallow dip at the center. A small round button is positioned below this point, followed by a vertical dividing line that continues toward the abdomen. A narrow raised edge follows the upper border of the shirt and clearly separates the fabric from the exposed skin. The torso leans deeply forward, and the shirt follows the curve from the chest toward the waist. Across the back, a broad white surface extends from beneath the shoulders to the hips. A narrow dividing line runs from the area beneath the arm toward the lower hem and separates the front and back sections of the shirt. Both arms extend downward at nearly the same angle. The long sleeves remain around the arms as the neckline sits below the shoulders. Several folds gather around the elbows and continue toward the wrists, changing direction as the sleeves narrow. Each sleeve ends in a wide cuff separated from the main sleeve by a horizontal line. Both hands emerge from beneath the cuffs with their palms facing downward. The 5 fingers are individually separated and spread outward across the surface. The shirt continues from the waist across the hips and follows the rounded curve of the buttocks. Its rear hem overlaps the underwear, creating 2 separate white layers around the lower body. A narrow border follows the outer edge of the shirt and curves from the center toward the sides. Openings along the lower sides divide the front and rear sections of the hem. The upper thighs appear through these openings where the fabric ends around the legs. The shorter front section spreads over the upper thigh with a horizontal border defining its lower edge. The rear section is semi-transparent, allowing the skin and the outline of the underwear beneath it to remain visible. The underwear has solid white edging around the waist and leg openings, separating these borders from the semi-transparent central section. A small mark is visible at the center of the underwear. The knees are deeply bent beneath the body and the thighs open outward from the hips. The lower legs extend backward from the rounded knees. Each calf narrows gradually toward the ankle, creating a smooth line through the lower half. The figure is barefoot. Each foot continues from a narrow ankle into a rounded heel and a shallow curve along the sole. The toes are individually separated, with their lengths changing gradually across each foot. This figure is approximately 9 centimeters tall. That's about 3.5 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Modernia by FuRyu stands out because this figure combines a gentle expression, a loosely worn white shirt, semi-transparent clothing layers, and a forward-leaning kneeling pose that guides the eye naturally across the whole piece. The face leaves a soft and approachable first impression. The orange eyes are surrounded by dark eyelid lines and individual eyelashes, while the fine red lines across the cheeks add warmth beneath them. The slightly open mouth completes the relaxed expression. The hair strengthens that presentation very effectively. The bangs are divided into thick central and outer sections, with their pointed ends overlapping the forehead and the areas above the eyes. The white bands cross the hair at several heights and remain visible beneath the sections that overlap them. The black triangular ornaments add darker accents near the top, while the yellow ribbon creates a stronger point of color near the side of the face. The upper body works well because the loose arrangement of the shirt follows the forward angle of the torso closely. The wide neckline drops below the shoulders, exposing the upper chest and shoulder area as the long sleeves continue down the arms. The small button connects the front section beneath the chest, and the folded collar spreads outward toward the upper arms. Folds gather around the elbows before the sleeves narrow into the wide cuffs. The lower body gives the figure much of its appeal. The rear hem of the shirt follows the rounded buttocks and overlaps the semi-transparent underwear beneath it. Solid white edging defines the waist and leg openings, and a small mark is visible at the center of the underwear. The deeply bent knees, outward angle of the thighs, and backward line of the lower legs create a compact lower silhouette. The narrow ankles lead into rounded heels and individually separated toes. What makes the figure especially effective is the way all of these elements connect. The eye moves from the raised face through the open neckline, along the forward-leaning torso, and into the curved lower body. Because of that, fans of Goddess of Victory, NIKKE, or Modernia will likely enjoy this piece very much. Collectors who like gentle expressions, loosely worn shirt arrangements, and compact kneeling poses should find it a very satisfying addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.